women are still about 15% less efficient than men. So think in a world where all of these amenities would not have been available: power tools, easy transportation, easy communication, um, ACs, and most importantly, computers. And I'll get to why computers is such a revolutionary item. They're still 15% less efficient than men are. Imagine a world without all of these things, how much less efficient women would have been at most jobs. And the reason I mention computers is because most of white collar jobs today, they employ computers for record keeping. They employ computers for data management. And record keeping is essentially every single position of the manager, of directors, CEOs. All of that had to be done by hand in the past. That would have been done by hand for hours upon hours in dimly lit rooms with no ventilation, no air conditioning. And if you needed something, you'd have to go by horse, or you have to walk, right? All of these things would have required significant amount of physical effort. And it's just proven whenever there's an element of physical labor, women absolutely are much more inefficient. I guess women would have been 40 to 50% less efficient than men in a world without power tools, computers, and air conditioning, and proper ventilation and lighting. What was the incentive of the elite and the system? Would it have been logical in terms of productivity to educate women, a very small minority of whom would have been geniuses, and the vast great majority of them would have been midwits with low physical power? With men, even the midwits are slightly more intelligent and they have much more physical power, so they would be efficient at their jobs. Only after the role of physical prowess, endurance was completely eliminated from white collar jobs, did white collar jobs become suitable for women's work. That is what you see today. We have computers. Women don't have to write that shit down for hours upon hours, copy it down for hours and hours. That is what religions picked up on. It would have been disastrous for civilization to invest resources on that, especially when women were better at something else. Civilizations look for efficiency. Civilizations look for return on investment on their citizens. And if you invest on women for very low returns, that simply makes no sense. And women themselves would be devastated by this, by the lack of success compared to their male peers. But bro, they still are. They still blame their own shortcomings on men. Imagine what society would have been if women were making 50%, 60% of men, and it was not the fault of men. They would have been blaming men forever. And it was more difficult jobs, by the way. They would claim, we are doing the same job, we are doing the same labor, this is so difficult for us, but you only pay us 60% of what you pay men. Never mentioning that they were like half as efficient. So societies had these laws, they had these restrictions, so society itself did not fall apart. So it was a productive society. Societies are not built on what is objectively right in your 21st century mind, what is enlightened in your 21st century mindset. The only reason you think it's right or it's enlightened is because the elite want you to think it's right and enlightening. Because women working, when it's easier for women to work, gives them even more profits. Let me be very honest about it. There is no good or bad about women working or not working by itself. It's beneficial in a society which is industrially developed, women working, and it's not beneficial to a society which is not industrially developed. It's harmful. Which is why you think it's good now. You think it's your conscience, it's your savior complex, that you think that women should have rights, you think that women should be free. In reality, it's simply the manufacture of the elite who want to make more profits out of women working. And back then it was the elites themselves as well. Back then it was the elites as well. Women not working and women staying at home and raising more male workers would have been ideal for society. That way they would not have to educate women and they would get good male workers. Now you have jobs which can employ physically fragile midwits. That was not always the case, and elites have adapted to that. As soon as there were jobs which could employ physically fragile midwits, alright, that's a good keyword for women, PFM, physically fragile midwits. You guys should call women PFMs instead of writing woman or foiled in comment sections, because that gets videos terminated and comments terminated, right? Should I mention a product like Netflix or iPhone in this video so this gets more views? Like I've been doing that of late and my videos have been getting views. So I may as well. Watch this on your iPhone. I know none of you broke cells have one, but watch this on your iPhone. Buy an iPhone just to watch Black Pill Monkeys videos. So that's the point I wanted to get across. And the second video is going to be about me myself.